Well, he's
Ain't putting on, man. That's all we know, man. Putting on like alone, man. Freedom murder, man. Know what's going on.
Their way.
Devils who got them served. They weren't doing it for a little saint, man.
Bitch, Snitchatron.
You got
What y'all expected out of Pooh Shiesty since he just got out?
So what we expecting out of Pooh Shiesty since he just got out?
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah,
music for sure.
To get it back in blood.
Get back in that music for sure.
That's all he gonna be focused on watching. That's all you gonna see.
Don't do no club.
He ain't about to do. He's just about to drop hella shit.
No bullshit right now.
He's just about to drop shit.
Pooh Shiesty and Choppa Gang ran down on Gucci Mane, relieved him of some of his possessions, and basically forced him to sign a contract releasing Pooh Shiesty from 1017. I had people hitting me up saying some of Gotti's people are the one who did this. When you listen to the FDO song, he's shouting out Yo Gotti. If you're signed to Gucci Mane, you are not showing Yo Gotti love.
That means it was a sneak attack. Let's just say maybe Gucci made arrangements to come to Dallas. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Pooh's in Dallas, I'm gonna book some studio time.
Yeah.
We gonna get it in. Hey, Pooh them at the door, let them in. Can't come in, right? It had to be some shit like that. Gucci wouldn't have been anticipating the problem. It wouldn't have been that easy.
I feel like the signing artist part of Gucci's life is over.
But bro, what's really gonna be over is Pooh Shiesty's career.
Yeah.
He's gonna put his on the shelf. Y'all going on the shelf, boy. Gucci seen you on YouTube, reached out to you. How did you feel when he reached out to you? Was you fucked up? Did you believe it? Or you thought it was a fake account?
Yeah, I ain't believe it at all. Look at my phone. I said, hell no. I wake up, I get all the way up. Look at my phone again. He text me again. He was like, what's up? I text back right there. I was like, what's chopping? He was like, man, I'm rocking with your music, home. You too hard. I instantly put my clothes on, leave. I go to the house. I wake Pops up, you know, then my manager. Hell no, this ain't real.
Right.
I wake him up. I show him. He couldn't believe he done there sweating. He get to sweat. So look, he sent me his number. He said, FaceTime me. I FaceTime him from there. We talked about like 5 hours. And it was up from there. And now fucking twin sister, mama's cousin.
I'm like, man, I don't believe Gucci just sit there and just let a nigga do something to him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this was like some surprising news. At least it was for me. I didn't really expect it, but you know, they're saying Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane over Gucci Mane not wanting to help out when Scar died. And they're saying that now he's signed to Yo Gotti.
They said he was locked up. I just saw he out.
So he's out, or he was in
He was on live.
a halfway house for a while.
He was in the halfway house, but he wasn't posting on the internet while all that was going on. I heard that too. They went in the studio, met him, tried to press him like all his big homies. You know, I think they said his pops, all type of motherfuckers. And then they said Gucci punched one of them and they shit. You feel me? So ain't no telling. I don't believe Gucci just sit there and just let a nigga do something to him. You know what I'm saying? Over the scar, I mean, I understand everything, but they say Gucci supposed to punch one of them and they shit. And his ring fell off and his watch like broke, and he picked it up. So I don't think it was like a robbery, like, nigga, give me that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a scuffle, it was going down, and then he lost his pieces.
You won't believe what happened when Charleston White ran into Pooh Shiesty's parents. Behind all the laughs, the clout chasing, and the viral commentary, this internet personality was about to meet people who don't play when it comes to family disrespect. Charleston had been running his mouth online about Pooh Shiesty's incarceration for months, acting like prison would humble him, like the system would teach him lessons that the streets never could. But face to face with Pooh Shiesty's mother and father, everything changed in an instant. This wasn't just another internet feud, it was a lesson in respect, loyalty, and the consequences of underestimating the real world. Before we dive into the confrontation, you need to understand Charleston White's behavior leading up to it. On countless live streams, he laughed at Pooh Shiesty's situation like it was comedy. He mocked the idea that a young man who once walked the streets of Memphis, who had survived what most people couldn't even imagine, was now under probation. He joked about how the white man would teach him discipline, how his freedom would be restricted, and how his days of doing what he wanted were over. For someone who profits from internet drama, it seemed harmless. But in reality, he was poking a hornet's nest. For people who know Memphis street culture, mocking a young man from a family with serious credibility isn't just reckless, it's dangerous. Now, let's talk about who Charleston was really messing with. Pooh Shiesty's mother isn't just a parent, she's a certified force in the streets of South Memphis. Growing up in a neighborhood that produced legends like Yo Gotti and Young Dolph, she learned early how to survive in a world where showing weakness could get you and your family eliminated. She understood the rules of the streets before she even met mob boss, Pooh Shiesty's father. When these two linked up, it wasn't a love story from a movie. It was two soldiers building an empire in one of the most dangerous environments in America. Federal investigations, rival crews, and constant threats weren't anomalies. They were daily life. And through it all, she made sure her family stayed together, managing finances, protecting reputations, and maintaining power, while Mob Boss faced his battles. Speaking of Mob Boss, the man's name isn't just for show. Lantrell Williams, Sr., known across Memphis as Mob Boss, wasn't some casual street dealer. His operation was sophisticated, reaching from the Mississippi Delta to the Arkansas border, using major interstates as his own supply lines. He had networks of drivers, insiders, and street soldiers who were loyal to the point of risking their lives. But unlike many, Mob Boss operated strategically, investing in real estate, creating legitimate businesses, and staying under law enforcement's radar while still making serious money. He even founded Mob Ties Records, blending music and street business, giving him legal reasons to move money, travel, and maintain respect without relying on constant violence. For Charleston White, mocking this family wasn't just disrespectful, it was ignorant. And this is where things get intense. When Charleston finally crossed paths with Pooh Shiesty's parents, it wasn't online or through a screen, it was real life. He met the woman who had raised one of Memphis's most authentic street rappers and the man who built a respected, feared reputation over decades. Charleston realized immediately that this wasn't content to clip and post, it was accountability in person. His usual bravado evaporated. The woman stepped up and said, "I ain't like what you said." And in that moment, Charleston and his companion ran. No cameras, no hype, just a pure reaction to genuine street authority. This encounter alone would be enough to teach a lesson about humility. But the story doesn't end there. To fully understand why Charleston's comments were so incendiary, you have to look at what he said. He laughed about Pooh Shiesty's incarceration, celebrating how probation would control him, mocking the idea that a young man who was once dangerous in the streets was now harmless. He made jokes about Pooh Shiesty being under the control of the system, saying things like, "That white man don't play," as if he personally knew what was best for him. For anyone familiar with street culture, this type of condescension is a provocation. It's not just disrespect, it's a challenge, a statement that someone is undervaluing the struggles, the survival, and the intelligence of a young man shaped by generations of street wisdom. The contrast between Charleston White's online persona and the real-life authority he faced is staggering. On social media, he's untouchable, witty, and fearless. In person, standing in front of people who had survived federal cases, street wars, and threats on every side, he understood that his clout meant nothing without respect. Pooh Shiesty's parents represented a code of conduct from an older generation, a standard that says loyalty and family protection come before fame, before money, before entertainment. They didn't need to yell, threaten, or perform. Their presence alone communicated the seriousness of crossing lines that shouldn't be crossed. Now, Mob Boss's history only adds layers to this confrontation. In 2007, Memphis police had been surveilling one of his operations for over a month, targeting a strategically chosen apartment on Porter Street. The raid was chaotic, like a movie scene. Armed officers, a 75-pound pit bull charging at them, glass shattering, and suspects scrambling. Law enforcement found large amounts of narcotics, weapons, cash, and evidence of a highly organized operation. And that was just one raid. Mob Boss had survived far more dangerous situations, including being implicated in serious cases like the 2004 murder of a radio DJ named Rebecca Glenn. While he managed to beat the worst of the charges, the story cemented the level of respect and fear surrounding him. For Charleston White, knowing nothing about this history before mocking Pooh Shiesty's family was like stepping into a lion's den blindfolded. the story of Pooh Shiesty's mother is just as critical. While Mob Boss handled the street operations, she managed the family, ensuring that Pooh Shiesty was taught survival, loyalty, and intelligence. She kept him in school, made sure he understood the importance of both the streets and legitimate opportunities, and cultivated his respect for rules without breaking his spirit. When Charleston mocked Pooh Shiesty, he wasn't just targeting a young rapper. He was disrespecting a lifetime of work, a family that had weathered storms and survived when many would have crumbled. And for people like her, disrespecting a child isn't a minor offense. It's a serious breach that demands accountability. When Charleston White faced Pooh Shiesty's parents, his reaction was immediate. He shifted from mocking and loud to humble and apologetic. He promised never to speak about Pooh Shiesty again, realizing that his online bravado didn't translate to real-world immunity. The energy shifted instantly. The internet persona that thrived on ridicule met the reality of lived experience. And the lesson is clear: respect is earned through actions, loyalty is non-negotiable, and some lines shouldn't be crossed, no matter how many views or clicks you might get. This confrontation also highlights the generational gap in street culture. Mob Boss and his wife represent a code that prioritizes family and reputation above all else. Charleston White, representing modern internet clout culture, thought he could exploit Pooh Shiesty's situation for content. But he quickly learned that while online antics can make you viral, they can't shield you from accountability in real life. The parents didn't need to make a scene, they merely existed as a living reminder of consequences. And the implications go beyond this one incident. In today's culture, internet personalities can profit from other people's pain, turning tragedy into entertainment. Charleston's mockery of Pooh Shiesty's incarceration is a prime example: jokes, views, and clout at the expense of someone's life and future. But when faced with the human element, the parents, the family, the legacy, those online antics can crumble instantly. The story is a warning to anyone thinking that the internet is a lawless place. Real-life consequences still exist, and some families don't play when it comes to respect. At the end of the day, Charleston White learned a valuable lesson about the difference between performance and reality. Pooh Shiesty's parents weren't seeking fame, they were enforcing respect. This encounter also reminds us that behind every rapper's story, there's often a family that has endured hardship, survived danger, and cultivated the talent and survival instincts necessary to thrive in challenging environments. Disrespect isn't just an insult to the individual, it's an insult to the family, the history, and the legacy. So, what does this mean for Charleston White? While he promised not to mention Pooh Shiesty again, the real lesson goes deeper than avoiding one person. It's a reminder that online clout has limits, that mockery has consequences, and that some lines should never be crossed, no matter how entertaining it seems on social media. And for viewers, it's a chance to understand the real stakes behind the headlines, the viral clips, and the laughs at someone else's expense. In the end, the streets of Memphis aren't just a backdrop for stories, they're a living ecosystem of loyalty, survival, and respect. Pooh Shiesty's parents embody that ecosystem, and Charleston White's encounter is proof that you can't fake understanding it. No algorithm, no camera, no viral clip can replace real-world experience. And that's why this confrontation resonates far beyond just one young rapper or one online personality. It's a lesson about accountability, respect, and the power of family legacy. So, what do you think? Did Charleston White finally learn his lesson, or will the lure of clout eventually pull him back to old habits? And more importantly, how would you react if someone crossed your family the way he crossed Pooh Shiesty's? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to check out our other videos where we break down the real stories behind hip-hop's most intense moments. Because the streets have been talking, and now you know the truth about what happens when internet bravado meets real-life street royalty.